Hi, you guys. So I was playing around today. I'm sure someone has invented this before. I probably even saw it somewhere before. But what I would like to show you today is bridge with an exercise ball and a leg extension. So we're going to start with two separate movements and then put them together. So exercise balls, I highly recommend them. They're great for multiple purposes. If you sit on an exercise ball, you pretty much have instant good posture. So if you have to sit for a long period of time, I even used one of these when I used to work in an office, and instead of sitting on a chair, I sat on one of these. It will help your attention. Well, it might help your attention. It will definitely help your posture. It engages the core. So I highly recommend these for multiple purposes. For now, you lay on your back and then flex your feet. My feet are about hip distance apart, just a little bit apart. And arms are going to be really light on the floor. The less I use my arms, the more I have to use my core to stabilize myself. So there's actually two different movements we can do here. First one is just lifting the hips up and then kind of digging the heels into the ball. When I do these, I'm going to turn my head centered. I'm not going to be looking at the camera because we're going to be putting some weight on the shoulders, and we never want to turn the head when we weight on the shoulders to protect the neck. Always protect the neck. So with my head centered and neutral, my core engaged, of course, my arms really light. I like to bend the arms even because if you're down here, the hands have a tendency to push into the floor, and we don't want that. We want to focus on the core. So I'm going to keep my knees in, that's also important. And then I'm going to just lift my hips up as high as I can, doing a bridge on the ball, and then slowly come down. I always recommend slow and controlled to start with. And then if you get used to it, you can go a little faster. But basically I feel like I'm lengthening my spine, which means you feel like you're creating space in between each set of vertebrae, and then lift the hips up, push the heels into the wall, and then slowly come down. The second part of that is I can lift the hips up and then extend the legs at the same time. So extend and lift the hips, and then bend the knees as I come back down. And extend the legs, lift the hips, and then slowly come down. And I encourage you, try to do this with your elbows off the ground, to make sure you're using the core to stabilize you, keep you from moving side to side. Now, we're going to add another element to it to really activate those external rotators in your backside, in your booty. So there's a position in yoga called Supta Baddha Konasana where the soles of the feet are together. So I'm just putting the soles of my feet together, and I'm putting my ankles on the ball. And my knees are going to be down. Basically, you want your knees out, turned out and down as far as possible. And then we're going to do the same thing. You can just do the lift here and keep your knees bent. Again, head straight, centered, nose to the ceiling. Try not to push into the arms. Or you can straighten the legs as well. So feet, they don't have to be together the whole time, but they're pretty close. So what I would do is lift first, and then straighten. Bring it back and down. So I'd make it two definite movements. You can do it all at once if you want to, but I feel like you get more out of it if you lift first. So hips up, and I'm trying to open my knees, push my knees to the floor, and then straighten the legs all the way, keeping the hips up as high as possible. Always lengthening the low back. You should never feel pain in the low back when you do this. So if that's an issue, don't do it. And then bring it back. Slowly come down, and then repeat. Lift, extend, bend the knees, and down. And repeat. We'll do a couple more. And down. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like from a different angle. So we'll go this way. So I put my feet on the ball. So, see, my feet are basically together. Feet are basically together. Knees out to the side, arms really light on the floor, not pushing into the floor. I lift, try to open those knees up, extend, return, and down. Lift, extend, return, and down. So it's a really good way to work your backside and the hamstrings. So have fun with that, play around, start out slow, go as high as you can without pain, and then if that feels good, you can go a little further. Have a good day.